Hey, welcome back to Visions Now Supper Club. All views expressed for their educational and journalistic purposes, they're not the views of the management, advertisers, and staff of 92.1 FM. However, Visions does desire to bring a quality entertainment program which intellectually stimulates and culturally fulfills our community's needs to develop leadership and inform decision-making for our collective future. Welcome to the village, often imitated, but never duplicated. I'm Dr. Jaylene Hood, your host and executive producer. Welcome.
Men are starting to value peace over peace.
All day.
If this woman is not bringing you peace, send her back to the streets. A lot of women are not understanding that males and men are completely different.
Completely.
When it comes to the males, they tolerate disrespect, neglect, being emasculated, having to chase up behind you, beg you to act right. No man would ever. A lot of the males are the ones that a lot of us vibrate with. We attract them. Because all we're used to dealing with and attracting are males and getting away with certain things. When it comes to men, we feel like all 25 of them let me get this also. You should be the same way. And men don't go for that shit at all. They know their value. Men will upgrade you, elevate you, help you to evolve, mature, and grow as a woman. They understand what they bring.
If she don't put you at peace, send her back to the street.
Grandmother would buy us Christmas gifts at Christmas time, and she would give them all my brothers and sisters. There were 10 of us in my family, 8 boys and 2 girls. She'd give all of them their Christmas gifts, and she'd say, "Terry, come by the house. Mama got something for you." And my sister Gwen, who was always messy, she's still messy now at 66 years old. Gwen said, "Mama, why you give us a gift and then you always got some extra stuff for Terry?" Mama said, "First of all, it's my damn money." That's why I learned to cuss, hanging around my grandmother. She said, and I do what I want to do with it. She said, but the next reason is I give Terry something extra because he come talk to me when he don't want nothing. If you want God to bless your life, if you want God to make a way out of nowhere, come talk to him when you don't want nothing. Father! My grandmother would buy us Christmas gifts at Christmas time, and she would give them all my brothers and sisters. There were 10 of us in my family, 8 boys and 2 girls. She'd give all of them their Christmas gifts, and she'd say, "Terry, come by the house. Mama got something for you."
A good woman don't challenge a man. That is a fallacy. A good woman inspires a man. We don't want to be challenged. The world is already challenging us, and we want to come home and be challenged again. There is no place we can extract peace and power from. If you got the mindset where you think that's a good woman, you think you've been a good woman, but I'm challenging him. A good woman will inspire him, not challenge him. Cooperate with his plan. If he got a plan, and you think, I don't know if this is gonna work, use your divine femininity to figure out how to make it work, not go against it. A good woman don't challenge a man. That is a fallacy. A good woman inspires a man.
Rejected, accepted. If you're unloved, let go. If they choose someone or something over you, move on. Not everyone you love will stay. Not everyone you trust will be loyal. I don't care about losing people who don't want to be in my life anymore. I've lost people who meant the world to me, and I'm still doing just fine. Do not follow the majority. Follow the right way. You can feel it when someone is not being real with you. Energy never lies. Always speak how you feel and never be sorry for being real. Give people time. Give people space. Don't beg anyone to stay. Let them roam. What's meant for you will always be yours. I feel so much better when people don't know where I am and what I'm doing. You may not be able to control every situation and its outcome, but you can control your attitude and how you deal with it. Do good. It will come back to you in unexpected ways. Be happy with what you have while working for what you want. Remember that some things have to end for better things to begin. If you're rejected,
Rican men or Dominican men?
I like black men.
Why? What do you like about black men?
I like everything about them. Come on now, come on now. You know. I know what's up.
Puerto Rican men or Dominican men?
I like black men.
Good afternoon, everybody. We want to welcome you back to the Village this Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. And again, you made it this far, so that is a blessing, and we want to congratulate you for making it this far. I am your producer for the evening, and as usual, we got a few announcements before we get into the show. I want to inform everybody that New Era Coalition is hosting a one-day basketball tournament in Elizabeth Caney. It'll be Friday, July the 26th, from 11 until 3. The boys and the girls grade levels that we're dealing with are 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade kids, and we're also doing the varsity as well. So that's the 8th grade and higher kids. Again, this is on July the 26th in Elizabeth Caney Homes from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. For more information, please contact Dr. HUD at 706-221-4830 or Project Rebound. There will be food, there will be some prizes, and there is a waiver that the child will have to, or the participants will have to complete, but we will get all that handled. And also on July the 24th, also in Elizabeth Caney, there is a block party being hosted from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. There's going to be some music, some community events, food. So you want to make sure that you get out there and support eCaney, try to build up their village as well. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. How you doing this evening, Doc?
Fine. And of course, it's a beautiful day, beautiful sun. And like I say, some people like it cold, but I like it hot.
Absolutely.
And speaking of liking it hot, I got somebody on the line now. You can bring our guests on. Sister Touch, she know how to make it hot. She know how to make the, the run hot.
I do. Yes, I do how to make it hot.
How you doing?
Like it's hot right now.
You already know what the deal is. So again, is that time of the year? You know, I get with that. You know, is that we start getting ready for the runway. And so tell us what's up, and how you going about it, and what we got coming up with the grown folks.
Yes, for the grown folks. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show once again.
Hello, Columbus. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me just tell you how hot it is. It's so hot that Hotlanta is coming to Columbus on tomorrow, Friday, July 12th, because we're looking for the hottest senior citizens starting at age 50. We're having a model search and audition at the Curate and Gather event space, 3151 Williams Road, Unit C. That's tomorrow. And let me tell you, it starts at 5. We'll be finished at 6:15. We're looking for both male and female models. We're asking everyone to wear all black, Doc. They have to wear all black, hard bottom shoes. We want to make sure that they bring their ID to prove that they are 50 or older. We have a lot of folks trying to sneak in with our seniors on the runway platform.
The
So
47s and 46s.
they're sneaking in. They're trying to sneak in. So we're checking for their ID. So we need to make sure that you all have that to show the year that you were born. And you have to bring $100 registration, application, audition, and processing fee. So what we're doing, we're having seniors strut for scholarship dollars. I have a nonprofit organization called Opportunity. And Seniors on the Runway is the platform that helped raise scholarship dollars for high school seniors that are raised by their grandparents, seniors. And so we're gearing up we're bringing Fashion Week to Columbus next year in 2025, but we need some hot models, let me tell you. So I just wanted to come on and talk about it really quickly about what we're doing tomorrow. We currently have Columbus models as well as Albany, Atlanta, Birmingham, Macon, Jacksonville models. We're in 8 cities, but we're coming to Columbus because we want to make sure that Columbus is represented during our Fashion Week.
That's right. That's right. And of course, what is the date? Have you gotten a date yet for that in 25?
Well, we're looking at the month of April for our Fashion Week.
Okay. So tell them a little bit in terms of, okay, once they come and sign up, what happens between when they sign up and the event? What can they expect in terms of time and that type of thing?
Sure. So what happens when you have an audition, you come and put your best foot forward. We're not asking you to necessarily have any experience in modeling, because what will happen, the judges will judge you in 5 categories: poise, stage presence, your style, ability, and comprehension. Should you be selected to be on our runway, we will train you. The fee is usually $1,600, but for seniors, it's $0. It is $0. So we will spend a few months training the seniors to prepare them for runway. Then we'll start getting them fitted for the clothes and get prepared for the show. So we do an audition, then we do training, then we do practice, then we do rehearsal, and then we put the show on, because we want to make sure our seniors are ready. And it's not just any type of senior. We're talking about modern day seniors. We're not talking about seniors that appear to be feeble and weak and can't move. Our seniors are wearing 4 and 5 inch heels, Doc.
Right.
And they're hot.
Right, and they can walk in them.
They can strut. Yes, they're not tiptoeing; they strutting. Okay.
Right. So now, is this once they get accepted as a model, do they meet once a week, once a month?
We have 5 days that we train, and it's spread out. So seniors will have a letter from us, a determination letter that says, "Congratulations, you've been selected. Here are the training dates." Our training dates are important. They're mandatory because that's where you learn the foundation of modeling and strutting and learning the runway etiquette. So we give them far enough advance notice. It won't be like, hey, we're going to be in Columbus this week, you got to be ready. No, they put it on their calendar and we prepare them for the strut.
Right. Now, also, because I know you do have people who have been there before, and I guess at some point there'd be a little networking that they can kind of, in between time, those who've been there, they can kind of serve as, I guess, mentors.
That's exactly right.
For the other ones, right?
That's exactly right. So the first 5 weeks that we spend with the new models, we do not bring in any of the seasoned models, because sometimes the new models get a little intimidated when they see the seasoned models come out and strut. So we will prepare them for 5 weeks, and then we will bring in the seasoned or returning models, and we will match the returning models with the new models so that they are mentored into the Seniors on the Runway family. Right.
And it is a sight to behold, and it's a very vibrant. It's just a wonderful occasion, and I thank you for putting Columbus on the map and just bringing what I call a grown folks celebration. It's really like a celebration. It's more than just a fashion show. It's a celebration of life type of event. And so we thank you so very much. And by the way, congratulations, Dr. Tut.
Yes, thank you.
No
But I
doubt
tell
about
people
it.
to call me Tut because that's what my daddy called me. And
Yeah,
listen,
that's right,
if you don't want to audition, come out and tell my daddy happy birthday. He'll be 76 and he is the face of Seniors on the Runway. He trained all the male models and he can strut too.
No, yeah, you do. Still doing it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Don't count us out yet.
That's right.
Exactly. So I know you have a very, very busy schedule. And again, I hope to be able to get out and fellowship with you all while you're in town and make sure that you know where, that you got a reception committee. So I'm a informal ex officio for the reception committee. When y'all in town,
You're the president, sir.
That's right. So I appreciate you so much. And of course, I'll be following you on Facebook, all over wherever you going. And by the way, I'm not going to talk to you about about your car accident. We'll talk about that at some other time.
A car accident? What car accident you talking about?
The commercial that you cut.
Oh.
We'll talk about that.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yes,
I know her.
Yes, I'm all over. I try to be incognito, but it's hard to be humble when you're just that great,
Too late, Queen.
Can I give my phone number just in case people want to call?
Please. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And to all of my seniors that are watching, I got Carolyn Curry. She is tuning in. I see her name popped up. But my number is 404-254-9843. Y'all call me because I would love to see you tomorrow. Seniors on the Runway. Turned down for what?
Turned down for what? Take care, Queen, and tell Pops I hope to see him and wish him a happy birthday as well. That's to that 1948 crowd.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, take care.
Peace. Oh, that's she's so wonderful. Again, with the crowd, you've never been there. You missed the treat. So again, this coming 25 when they do it, we're gonna try to make sure, Sister Chandra, that you in the house if good Lord will the creek don't rise, because it's a lot of fun, and a lot of strutting on the runway, for the mature crowd. So again, we do have a few other announcements, I guess, of things going on in your life, in your world, Sister Chandra. And I know, of course, football season is coming up real soon, and we're gonna be looking out for Morehouse, see what they're gonna do on the football field as well.
Morehouse College.
That's right.
We were at the community block party at Columbus Villas on Wednesday. They had a great turnout, lots of fun, a lot of vendors, and they're doing it again. Columbus Parks and Recs in coordination with the Housing Authority. It'll be again on Wednesday, July the 17th, which is this coming Wednesday, Arbor Point 1 and 2 and EJ Night. It'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. And then as it was mentioned earlier, Elizabeth Canty Homes will be on the 24th of July from 1 to 3 p.m. And then they're concluding and wrapping it up for the summer at Wilson Homes on July 31st. So same time, 1 to 3, looking for everybody to come out. Upcoming, we do have an event, or actually Cure Violence has a couple of events coming up in August, September, and October. They're doing a family, I think it's a family fun day barbecue type thing, and they're going to do it August the 24th, September 21st, and October 26th, and that's going to be out at Valley Healthcare.
Right, so we got time to to get
talk
them
about
back
those,
on
but to give people time to put it on their calendars.
Exactly.
Because that's next month.
Exactly. And of course, children are back in school, and so we got a lot of things going on now. And again, we just want you to know that the event, the basketball camp, day camp, and leadership for youth will be at, and they're targeting youth that live in Elizabeth County. That remember that the one that lives in Elizabeth County. You from Elizabeth County. By the way, if you're from Elizabeth County, we have we're putting together the Elizabeth County alumni. Anyone that's ever lived in Elizabeth County, want you to give us a call at 706-221-4830, and we want to kind of bring you all together And because we want to get some mentees. I know you all came out of the projects of Elizabeth Cannon, so we want you to come back and give back, you know, for to that foundation. So we're very, very excited about that. And so just give us a call at 706-221-4830. So again, Friday, July the 26th, in Elizabeth Cannon, we're going to have a day camp, and we hope to have something out there for the little kids, but the elementary and middle school children who go to J.D. Davis, and particularly Baker Middle School, those are the ones in the Elizabeth Cannon homes that we look to target, and just to give them a little fun and get them ready, because we will be working, New Era Coalition will be working feverishly with Baker Middle School and J.D. Davis, as well as each of those community areas, because we want parents to get involved. We want to bring back that old spirit of the village, and we really wanted the Elizabeth Cannon, Folly Homes, to really become a village where we're looking out for each other, people caring for each other, that type of thing. So we're really very, very excited about that. Also today, we just want to let you know that last week or so, I forget the date now, but that was a discussion on WRBL called Curbing Gang Violence. And, you know, now last time it was done, yours truly was a part of that group. Sister Rashida Ali was a part of that group discussion, as well as Pastor Johnny Flakes and some other people who were also a part of that group. But this time, they did not give us equal time to participate in that discussion. And we're just saying is that people do what they can do, and I know that the law enforcement community is doing what they can do. But again, there's something that you need experts, not just people who, and we're talking about not experts in locking people up. There are people who get experience. In the panel that you heard the other day, they're experts on locking people up, and they're getting all the resources that they need to do that. But remember that New Era Coalition, that we're experts on saving children, and we want to get just as much financial and human resources to save them so that they will not become criminals. So we are trying to save them from a life of criminal behavior so that they won't be necessary to lock you up in the new jail, to lock you up in the new courthouse, or to adjudicate you in the new courthouse, to be kicking in your doors, or whatever comes along with that. We want to stabilize our community and bring back that village spirit. So that's what we're doing. And so we're just asking them and others to give us a chance and give us just as many resources to prevent crime as they have to track it down after it's done. So we're going to take a little break. You want to take a little break here? And when we come back, we're going to start off with, we're going to open up with the first question, and we're going to go as many questions as we can tonight to give you the feedback. Many times, you know, on TV, when one side gives their State of the Union, then they have another side to give their views on the State of the Union address. So we were not invited this time, but we're going to give you our perspective on, when you hear their views, then we're going to give you, and then you can decide, what you want to invest in as a community and what you think is going to be most helpful to saving our children from a life of crime. That's what we're about, okay? But we need help with that too. And so that's what it's all about. So with that having been said, thanks again, as always. We're the one that been loving you, and we've been loving you before you were criminals. We've been loving you since you've been criminals, because we believe in you, and we believe that they're given the opportunities, that then our goal is to reduce the number of people in jail and prisons, not to increase them. And so that's of course, they're doing their job. Now remember this: if you don't listen to us, if you don't work with us, then of course they're waiting to track you down and lock you up for the rest of your life and throw away the key, as the old folks used to say. But we don't want that to happen to you. We think that you are more valuable in helping us build than to tear down, okay? Because that's the only thing prisons teach you how to do, is how to tear something up, how to wear your pants down. Everything is about down in prison. So we don't want you to go in there and become down. We want you to come with us so we can help you how to build up your community, build up your life, build up your future. Listen now to Visions Now, 92.1 Smooth R&B. This is your Supper Club. Hope you enjoy the menu. Good evening. With our guests, as always, Miss Chandra Edwards, and of course, Julian on our producer, trying to make it do what it do. Visions Now.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
You want to be. Check out local performing artists like King South, J Live the Gentleman, Lady Coco, Remedy, and more. There's always something going on at Peaches Sports Bar and Lounge every Friday and Saturday night. Follow us on Facebook at Pittsview Peaches and on Instagram at Peaches SBL. Come on out and show out at Peaches Sports Bar and Lounge.
Attorney advertising. Paid act. Prior results not guarantee a similar outcome. Each person can probably depends on the facts and laws of each client's case.
You see Eric over there? He's been acting a little different lately. Moving kind of funny. Ever since he got that check, he's been moving kind of funny. Won't even pick up the phone for me. Remember that accident he got into? He called Top Dog. Top Dog got him top dollar. Heard it was like a bill, maybe two. He see me over here too. He ain't even speak to me. Can't believe him. Like, what, he mad at me? I remember he was asking me for money, but I ain't have it. He just got into his accident, but I ain't have it. Now he acting funny on me because he got that money. Who he think he playing with? Who? I'm about to confront him. I'm about to say something to him. Top Dog got you that money? I'm about to say something to him. This is real life. Any accident, TopDogLaw.com.
Get ready for Soul Fest 2024. Here comes King George.
Train gon' keep on rolling.
Also starring Wes Love. And featuring FPJ. Get ready for Michael Clark Jr. And Cupid. Plus, Mr. Smoke's Soul Fest 2024. Saturday, September 7th, the Columbus Civic Center. Get your tickets now. Ticketmaster.com.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this WRBL special discussion on gang violence in the Valley. It is a discussion we're having at Columbus State University, University Hall. I'm Teresa Whitaker.
And I'm Phil Scoggins. About a year ago, we brought you a program similar to the one tonight where a number of community members came together to discuss gang violence. We're doing that again a little over a year later, and we have panelists here from the city to join with us in this discussion.
Let's meet our guests. Skip Henderson, Mayor of Columbus, Greg Countryman, who is the Sheriff of Muskogee County, Stoney Mathis, the Columbus Police Chief, and we have Reggie Lewis, who is the co-founder of Cure Violence. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Chuck Williams will begin our questioning. Chuck?
This is to all four of y'all, and most of y'all. I think Reggie was the only one that wasn't here last year. But we had this conversation 14 months ago. Is the criminal street gang problem in Columbus better, worse, or the same as it was in April of last year?
I think it's better. I think it's better as for street gangs. Last year alone, I believe we arrested well over 300 gang members. We validated 242 gang members. We prosecuted at the state gang under the State Gang Act 44. So I believe that it's getting better, and we can see a trend. We can see a downward trend. But as long as you have younger people coming up in the same environment, you're going to see that activity. But we can somewhat stop or slow down some of the growth as far as gang activity. The activity we see is slowing down.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is getting better, but it's nowhere near good enough. Obviously, none of the people on this panel would say that it is. But I think you've got some of the right folks here, right? Because you've got a number of different areas that are all bringing to bear on this challenge the tools that they have, and the council should be here because the council has spent appropriated a lot of funds to try to enhance our technology, make sure that in the event that there are violent crimes, that they are quickly resolved. And that's part of the overall process. Reggie Lewis, representing a number of different organizations that are looking for ways to try to provide alternatives to some of the lifestyles that these kids get involved in that lead them ultimately to whether they're either killed themselves or they're going to hurt somebody and end up spending the rest of their lives in jail. Yeah, I think from my perspective, being in the community, we are seeing a trend down, but we're not finished yet. I mean, this is just the start of it. We have to stay consistent with this approach. We are seeing more gang members talk with our team and really look for different ways out. When we see them, we look at them as being human and young men and women. And a lot of times you don't see that because the only time we see them is when they've shot somebody or a violent crime. So a lot of people don't get to see these young men as human or just young kids and really understand where they're coming from. But we are definitely seeing a pickup in, young men coming to us and saying, hey, I want out or I want a different life.
Chief Mathis, you've been on the job a year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, we're at least doing the things that it's going to take to reduce the gang violence. We have seen about a 17% reduction in Part 1 crimes. We've got more police officers on the street. We actually have a gang unit within the police department working with the sheriff's gang unit. So collaboratively, we're attacking gangs from a multitude of different areas. We got the high crime areas identified using the technology resources that we have. And so we're doing everything that we need to do to make this gang problem, reduce this gang problem. It's just going to take a lot of work.
Following up on that same thought, Chief, this time last year, there was a staffing crisis in the police department. You've had a year in ramping up the hiring. Are there enough officers on the streets in Columbus today?
Not yet. We do have enough officers hired. We've hired about 136 in the last year. We still have about 36 that are in some form of training. So we're still going to continue to hire police officers and put them on the street. Right now, we are in a training phase, so we can give some of our new police officers some specialized training so they'll be better equipped to both identify the gang members and combat the gang members. A lot of times out on the street, we're outgunned. They have better guns than we have as the police officers have. So we're trying to ramp up the training that we have so we be better equipped. The sheriff led the charge and the mayor agreed with them. We now have ordered level 3 type bulletproof vests. Some of the ammunition and guns that the gang members are using will shoot through a level 2 vest that most of the police officers are wearing today. So we're doing all the things we need to combat this gang problem. It's just going to take time. It didn't get like this overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight, but we're certainly headed in the right direction.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say this, that with the question from our standpoint, was the question better or worse? The issue of gang violence is just one part of the issue. It's community violence, and that's domestic violence. For example, recently there's been an increase of domestic violence, and children who come from a domestic violence environment are more prone toward violence. The other thing about it is that the environment that people talk about, but we don't hear any notion about what are the resources to actually provide a different environment so that the increase of children who are coming out of the what we call the neglected communities, and there's no recreational or resources. We've advanced the notion that we need 2,000 to 3,000 after school jobs for these young people, so that would help cut off the growing number of the young people who are hopeless, because the hopelessness is the critical area. They keep talking about the guns. The guns are in the hands of hopeless children, and hopeless children are going to find other ways to do damage as well, unless we actually begin to invest in what we refer to as the human being. But we can't talk them out of this issue. The other thing about it, they said something about alternatives. I have not seen no investment in alternatives. I've seen investment in tracking. I've seen investment of what I call fire chasing, in other words, after incidents take place. But the investment in actually helping young people deter that path. Now, one of the things that New Era Coalition that we're doing as we speak is that we're dealing with what we call the low-hanging fruit. Those children who are in the YDCs, those children who are on probation, that's where if you listen very carefully, many of those who been involved with violence and gun violence, many of them have already been felons already. So when they come back out of prisons, they come back out into this life. So what the other thing about it is that we're talking about reentry. What are we doing when they come out of prison to drive them into positive activities as opposed to just going back into the streets? It's good to talk about those types of things, but there is no finish to this. This is something that has to be a new commitment. Just like there's nobody talking about there being an end to having police. There's no talk about being an end to having more courts, more jails, and better jails. Well, then the issue about poverty, we got to address this from the framework of poverty. That's why we have to start with children, not just when they get up to an age and they go into prison. No, we have to start with them at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have to be involved with them at that stage there. As I mentioned to you before, domestic violence, these children come out of homes, dysfunctional homes. We're addressing this new era. We're looking at, okay, are their parents on drugs? Because if their parents on drugs, their parenting skills are going to be somewhat lacking. Their focus is going to be somewhat lacking. So what happens? The children go to the streets. Okay, where are the jobs? Where are they going to sell drugs? And so therefore the cycle continues. The other thing about it is when they talk about better equipment, the police department philosophy, and I understand it because they're police department and it's not their job to worry about, or worry about the guns per se, other than make sure that their officers have the proper equipment. But my contention is this: if the guns that these young people who are involved in crime are so lethal, then why not outlaw those guns? My thing is that, but if you're going to outgun them, if you're going to up your artillery, then guess what? The criminal's going to up their artillery too. So at some point or another, we're saying that there was a point in time when the machine gun was a lethal weapon in this society. But they did what? They said, no, it's illegal. We're not going to have. So we pointed at those guns that are so lethal out here, the young people have, we have to make them illegal. But one thing about it, that means that those people who are making armory and things of that sort, it gets into a political dynamic of making money. And so therefore, we make more money incarcerating. That's why we had the school to prison pipeline. There's more money made on locking children up than there is on keeping children from being locked up. And so we're in the business of, in New Era, we're in the business of trying to make sure these young people become productive citizens, actually have opportunities to be engaged in creating positive environments in their neighborhoods, learn how to respect their elders, learn how to work on behalf of their neighborhood campaigns, working to assure that the beautification efforts in their neighborhood, doing errands and things of that sort. And we want them to see that as being their community showing them some love. But right now, there's no love. We want the children to be the neighborhood watch. But right now, they don't have any incentive to watch anything because they are many times dropping out of school at a rapid rate. And I also found out recently, even within the school setting, they're not learning how to read and to write. They're learning how to work on computers. Then they're saying, well, look, they're working on computers with their phones and things of this sort. Now we're going to get a problem with that. Put books back in there. So we're saying is that there's some root prevention issues that we have to address. And that's what our job is, to make sure that they have fewer people to lock up and not more people to lock up. So that was the first question. We're going to go to the next question. I think Ms. Teresa has the next question.
This question is for those of you who wish to respond. WRBL has done extensive coverage on the GBI expanding its reach into Columbus. So how will the GBI opening the 9-person criminal street gang task force here in our city help tackle the local gang problem?
We think it's going to make a significant difference. This was sort of actually the Mayor Pro Tem, Gary Allen, and I sat with Richard Smith, Representative Smith, before his passing. And it was something he was passionate about, was trying to bring some state aid into Columbus, Georgia to help us combat specifically some of the gangs. So we've actually been in negotiations for a space. We were hoping to get it up, ramped up by July. I still think we may be able to do that. But they're going to bring a presence into our community that will partner, work hand in hand with the sheriff, work hand in hand with the police chief, and there'll be personnel from all these different areas. And they're going to focus specifically on these gangs that have been terrorizing some of the neighborhoods. So I expect it's going to make not immediately. It's not flipping a light switch, but it is going to make a difference. And I think we're going to see a much more broad response to some of the challenges we face with the gangs.
I'm very excited about the GBI gang unit coming here to Muskogee County. I think that it's going to add that extra layer that we need. It will be a force multiplier, and to have the state resources combined with the resources that we have at the local level and the resources that we utilize at the federal level, it's going to make our job a lot easier, because we've already met. We've met as recently as last week, and we talked about some of the things that we plan on doing. We're all excited, even at the federal, from the federal level down to the local level. So we know that this is going to be a good thing for the citizens of Muskogee County. And I think within a matter of a year, you're going to see a huge turnaround and a huge change, because the key thing is being consistent. You have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, and you have to be intentional in how we go about doing this. And so we're not going to let up until they stop doing what they're doing. And so we're in it for the long haul. We see the results, we see the resistance, we see the arrest coming, and being on this side of the table, I know what's coming in the near future. So a lot of activity that you see happening, you won't see happening. So I feel good about where we are.
Yeah, what it's doing, it's going to add additional resources to what we're already doing. I mean, if they bring in a 9-person gang unit, and I can afford to put 5 people in it, the sheriff can afford to put 5 people in it, and they're cohesively working together, with both the sheriff and I having people within our departments working closely with them, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And their focus, just like the mayor said, their main focus is going to be gangs. I still have investigators investigating all other kind of crime, but their main focus is going to be gang and gang reduction. And we're going to be laser focused on reducing the gang violence in the city.
Go ahead. No, I mean, from my side, I'm not looking at it as from a criminal matter. I'm looking at it from a adversity matter. My partners and I are looking at ways that we can assist these young men and women to get them out of the situations that they're in. A lot of times we do not ask the right question of what happened to you. What are the things that put you in this space where you are in the gang? So what we're trying to do is we want to listen. We want to understand what they need. If they need GED, we want to get them to Goodwill or Columbus Tech. If you want a job doing welding, we want to get you to Columbus Tech and use that certificate program so that we can get you that job that's paying $55,000. Because what we know is that what they're dealing with is a lot of adversity from poverty, generational trauma that they've been in. And what this GBI and what the law enforcement part would do is we're going to be there to catch them and hopefully get them out of that area and get them into something more positive. So we look at it as positive. Unfortunately, some will be arrested. Some don't want to come our way. So those who don't want to come our way, they'll have to deal with the GBI and law enforcement. But we're here to help, not from a criminal aspect, but from an adversity aspect.
Thank you.
Okay, my response to that is that it's a sad day to me. I'm not excited. It's not a good thing. And see, this is the thing that troubles me, is that it shows the failure of the government to address the needs. We've always talked about the Mason-Dixon line between North Columbus and South Columbus. That's because of bad policy and bad leadership. And unfortunately, everybody on here are I'm not questioning their commitment. I'm not questioning their resolve. I'm not questioning their commitment, but I am questioning their expertise. I am questioning their knowledge of how to address, how to be about partnering with the community. See, the problem is that the whole theory is based upon getting the community to work with the police. That's the wrong theory. What we need is community policing. We need the police and law enforcement to work with the community. The mothers and the fathers of these children, they need the help, not to lock the children up, but to give community nonprofits and other organizations. For example, you take a child that's out there on drugs and he then robbing other people because of drugs. Okay, well, what about, first of all, how do we stop other children from also getting into this place of drugs? Many times people have been locked up and gotten involved because that was their only means of economics. Why is that? Because one is that they never learned how to read, write, and arithmetic, as we talk about. So therefore, there's a big gap between me talking to someone who's involved in this life and saying, okay, if you don't get out the life, then you're gonna get locked up, so you better come and listen to me. That person don't even know what you're talking about. There's a process that we call it job readiness. There's a job readiness experience that we have to get. It's a detox. It's just like in drugs. People, you can say, well, get off drugs. Now, there's a detox process that the person has to come off the drugs, then little bit by little bit, providing them with some other alternatives. But the bottom line is they would say, well, if you don't get off by drugs by tomorrow, we're going to lock you up. No, many of the people that have been locked up on drugs, they've been locked up because they have a habit. The lifestyle of crime has become endemic. It's a part of the culture of poverty, criminal behavior. So as a result of that, what they are excited about, I'm saying that they need to bring experts. And again, everybody there are bringing philosophies about how to lock children up. I'm not sure whether or not the government is really ready. And because when we talk about the city council don't have no experts in this. The police department and the police chief has oftentimes said himself, he's not a social worker. He knows how to do his part. And I think the sheriff, same thing. He's not a social worker. He's not a community builder. And certainly the mayor, God bless him, he's been on the council many years, but he don't know anything about this either. But who's missing here are the people who have solutions to these, not just people who are theorizing, but people who actually have expertise in working through these problems with other communities and also understand community. Columbus has a culture. Every city has its own innuendos. We have to make sure that the entire community, and again, that's why we're saying a coalition. And law enforcement is a part of that coalition. But law enforcement cannot lead the coalition of community building. They are there to provide for those incidents and those people who are not want to be a part of the solutions, but they are not to lead this process, because someone once told me that anything that you want to have fixed and you ask the carpenter to do it, the carpenter's going to use a hammer and a nail. Anything you want to have fixed and you ask the law enforcement officer, he said he's going to have to do with having a gun and a jail. And we're saying is that that's not going to fix this problem. That's going to lock up this problem, and then when they come out, eventually they're going to come out. They're going to come back out into the same conditions, and none of that. But they're going to be hardened criminals now. They went in as juveniles, okay. Then they graduated to the prison. Then they come back we haven't had no civility education, no character education, no opportunities while they're incarcerated. Incarceration is a tomb, it's not a womb. So we have to create that village, that womb, that environment for our children to want to stay in school, to want to do positive things. And I think that we have a plan, and we are working on that plan little bit by little bit, because again, it's not going to ever be over. So therefore, more and more money needs to come to this side of the table. Okay, as he mentioned, he said, when they sat down and everybody was passionate about getting money to incarcerate them. We want some of that passion to come on stopping crime, intervening on crime, preventing crime, and not just trying to lock up crime. You cannot lock crime up, okay? Because that's a failure. It's almost like I'm going to beat you because I failed you. No, let's understand now. You're doing some things so that there's a place for you for incarceration, yes. But there's other here. I also understand that you cannot. You say man cannot live by bread alone. And that's the Christian way. In other words, we got to give some spiritual food to these children, some hope, some love, some other alternatives other than to be able to sit in apartments or sit in houses without no recreation on their part, no leadership. And I understand, for example, with the jail, they got one mental health worker for thousands of people that got mental health issues. That's not going to address that issue. When they go into the jail, they're coming right back out into the streets. And then what are they going to come back out in the streets to do? We have to do this as a mass, as a community initiative, not a law enforcement issue. So as long as we're calling for the demise, we're destroying the next generation and their future. Next question.
Reggie, I'd like to stay with you on this. You just heard Sheriff Countryman say he knows what's coming. Everybody at this table knows what the GBI and the Attorney General's office are about to bring into the city. Reggie, you're probably most closely associated with those in the criminal street gangs with the work Cure Violence does. Do they know what's coming?
We tell them. We were very open with them about consequences. I don't think they understand what will be coming. You know, as a former law enforcement officer, I understand how we were with the Jump Out Boys and some of the other groups and gang task force that we had back in the 90s. Everybody knew who we were. This is probably going to be on that level. And that's something we haven't seen in the city for probably 10 to 15 years. And, you know, we're being open and honest about what's happening. And we want them to be trusting of us to understand, look, guys, we love you. We want to get you out of this. But if you don't want to deal with us, you're going to deal with something more stringent than you can ever imagine.
Right quick. Just as he said there, very good statement. We tell them, you can tell somebody, get off drugs. Stop using drugs. Okay. Do they understand? Yeah, they understand. But a person does not change just because they understand. They have to be taught how to change. It's a process of change. Now, as he mentioned, what they're saying is that there's going to be some terrorizing, and that's not necessary. My point is that if you get the community involved and the community trained, is the community being trained on how to protect and build a character into young people through the recreation program, through the educational program, through the nonprofit, veterans being involved, the ministerial community being involved, the nonprofit. Where are the resources for that? Well, we need instead of policing schools. I had someone tell me the other day they wish that they did not put police in the schools. No, they need mentors in the schools. The police need those kids trying to run away from school. The police need to be out running them down. They don't need to be walking the hallways. So what we're saying is that we are making law enforcement the answer to basically a family and community problem. You must, if you do not invest in the resources, that might make our business community feel better. Of course, put a circle around there, put law enforcement there. But the community, only way it's going to happen is that you got to strengthen the fabric of the community. And the problem is they don't know what to do about that. We do know what to do with that. But again, it's a tedious, it's not one shot. And no, we can feel good and get excited, but it's really a sad day that we have to bring this kind of firepower to destroy young people who don't even understand what's going on and what's getting ready to happen to them.
Next question we'll address to the Mayor Henderson, and others may respond if you would so choose. The Attorney General's office is going to be locating a prosecutor and an investigator here in Columbus. What difference is that going to make?
We hope a very big difference, you know, and I appreciate that question, because there are some pieces of trying to deal with the gang issues that don't typically get the headlines. You know, what Reggie's doing with providing opportunities and options for people before they get stuck in there. Similarly, if we don't get the cases adjudicated, if we don't refrain from cutting deals, if we allow them, if there's a federal charge in particular, make that federal case so that they're going to do day for day of that sentence, it's going to do a couple of things. One, it sends a message that if you do get caught, if you're trafficking in guns or drugs or other gang activity, that there are consequences, as Reggie mentioned. And so I think that the other piece of that is as they continue to try to move these cases through, it also clears space in the jail. I think the sheriff can do a much better job than I can of telling you about some of the challenges he faces. But one of the biggest challenges is getting them moved through the jail so that the police officers, when they make these arrests in misdemeanor cases, they can lock them up at least for a couple of days. Well, right now there's almost no room at the end.
Having the special prosecutor means that we have someone that is assigned solely for gang cases. This will be the laser focus. This is the crux of their whole purpose of being here, is to address gang violence. And so we have prosecutors that are subject matter experts that this is solely what they do, is prosecute gangs. And so it's going to be a heavy price to pay as far as prosecution, because Georgia, the governor, has been very, very intentional about gang activity, gang violence. The Attorney General, Chris Carr, they've been very intentional about what's going to happen next. And so the efforts at every local level, combined with what's happening at the state level and the federal level, you are going to see a huge impact. And so having this special.
Okay, let me make this. This is going to do a part 2, but just what I just told you before. What you're looking at is more courts, more jails, moving through the jail. But what about rehabbing? What are they doing while they have them incarcerated in the jail? Are they preparing them for a different kind of life? No, they're just making more room to keep them in for long. Now they said they have prosecutors that are subject matter experts. What are the subject matter experts in preventing crime? What are subject matter experts in building community and building neighborhood resilience, neighborhood community development corporations and organizations? Those people are not at the table. We're not the ones that they're asking, but they're asking the subject. They want subject matter experts to lock people up, but they do not want subject matter experts people to prevent crime. And so that tells you something about where we're headed in this direction. Unbeknownst to these people here, because they are not experts in building community. They're only experts in building structures and locking people up. And we must change that. This is a new era. We must change that. Well, supper time is over for today. We're going to close up the village. Thank you for listening. Invite your friends to join in our weekly meal, supper time. Let's build that spirit of Harambee. Organize, organize, organize. Educate, educate, educate. Pamoja, tutashinda, uhuru sasa, watu wazuri. Peace, soul, love, with a little sprinkle of power. Good night.